Hello and welcome back to Kate in Paradise. I am here with the beautiful Riva of Yoga with Riva, and I'm doing a series of Shine Online interviews. So for those of you who don't know, I'm doing a road trip across the country, and I am meeting up with so many of my incredible Shine Online collaborators, and Riva is one of them, and I'm just getting to meet them in person, some of them for the very first time, and asking them a little bit more about what got them into their passion and what they have to offer here in the world. So let's get started with our interview with Riva. So we are here at the Three Rivers Nature Lodge, and I've been able to practice a bunch of yoga with Riva. For those of you who don't know, she has an incredible online yoga business. And so I wanted to start by asking you, Riva, what was the thing that kind of introduced you to yoga?
So I was in massage school actually, and I was, just kind of figuring out, I know that I loved people, I know that I wanted to heal and be helpful, and I thought that massage was going to be that route for me. Yeah. So I did this 1,000-hour program with Cortiva in Seattle, and it was amazing. I learned all about the human body, all of the anatomy, physiology, pathology, basically all of these inner workings that we're walking around with inside of us all day long, and I was blown away. So totally fell in love with the human body during that experience in massage school, and we were asked in our fourth quarter to do a self-care project. So we were supposed to pick something that we had never done in order to heal ourselves, because we were doing so much giving as massage therapists. So what were we going to do to recharge? So we were asked to find something that we never tried before, and I had never done yoga. So I was oh, well, I've been hearing about this yoga thing. Maybe I'll give it a shot. So I actually went with one of my closest friends, Sarah. She took me to this studio in Capitol Hill called the Sweatbox, and it was a hot yoga studio, and I took my first class, and it was the first time in my life that I had been so focused on breathing and where I was putting my arms and my legs, and really just trying to get through it, because it was intense. It was a 90-minute hot class, and I was dying the entire time. But after I got through it, it was this realization. It was the first time that my mind was able to kind of turn off, and I felt embodied. It was the first time I really felt like I was in my body since I was a little girl. So it was a very transformative experience, and I just started practicing more regularly until I got so curious that I ended up doing my first yoga teacher training, because I just was oh, maybe I want to learn more. I didn't even really think that I was going to become a teacher at that time, but
really?
Yeah, the yoga, it just kind of grabs you and takes you down the rabbit hole. Yeah, exactly.
So I'd love for you to share with us how yoga has transformed your life and helped you heal, and just any amazing miracles that have happened in your life because of yoga.
There's definitely been some miracles. So, my first transformation was kind of when I did come to that first yoga class. I had spent pretty much my whole teenage girl years, adolescent years, all through my 20s, just feeling I wasn't enough. I really think that I looked in a mirror and, for lack of a better phrase, just talk shit to myself. I was really hard on myself. I wanted to be skinnier. I wanted to be prettier. I wanted to be one of the girls that I saw in the magazines always. So I feel in our culture, especially as females, we get kind of brainwashed with this idea of what we're supposed to look like. And that clouded my vision for a really long time. So in that yoga class, and since then, feeling this idea that my body is really strong and powerful and capable was a really new idea for me at the time. Rather than judging myself, I was really feeling wow, oh my God, this is incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's kind of where it started. That was my first transformation, this slow process that I'm still dealing with all the time of just being a little easier on myself, just being a little more of my best friend rather than my best critic. You know what I mean? So, so that's like a work in progress always, but yoga has definitely helped me be better at that. And then, you know, there's just been so many times in my life when I've gone through something and just been able to lean into my yoga practice. And, you know, like the most extreme case, I was in a car accident 3 years ago. My partner and I were driving up the I-5 from San Diego to LA. We were going to go see a show. We were on vacation. Everything was awesome. And a motorcycle swerved into our lane, and he didn't look before he swerved, and basically like was this far from our bumper. And, you know, he noticed that he didn't check, but when he swerved in front of us, he looked over his shoulder, and then he started like wobbling. And of course my partner didn't want to run over the motorcycle guy, so he takes us off the road, and there's a giant eucalyptus tree right there. So we run into a eucalyptus tree at like 70 miles an hour, and basically exploded my spine. So I broke 3 vertebrae from T12 to L3. So if you know, it's like right in the bendy spot, right in the place where your back kind of rounds, right below your ribs and where your kind of lower back starts. So broke 3 vertebrae, and it was a really like surreal experience. You know what I mean? I was kind of in the hospital and like getting put into these x-rays, and like, you know, I was strapped to a thing, and, you know, the doctors kept like touching my arms and touching my legs. They're like, can you feel this? And I was like, yeah, like. And it took me a long time to realize that they were checking to see if I was paralyzed.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
When I had that realization, it was like, there was like this incredible wave of like gratitude that washed over me. Just like, holy crap, like that just happened, and I am like alive. Like, yeah, yoga teacher with a broken back, that's a problem. But like a paralyzed yoga teacher, like
That's a bigger problem.
like that is something I'm really grateful that I did not have to like deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just was like super grateful. I had a lot of like love and support around me. The yoga studio I was teaching for was just like, whenever you're ready. The restaurant I was working at was just like, you know, you always have a job. You know what I'm saying? Like people were just like giving me all of this love and support. And I had spent years training for this moment. Like I had all of the tools of my yoga practice. Like my body was ready. My mind was capable. Like I was like, all right, it's time. I got to use these tools. You know what I mean? And so it was actually a really, really special time, like as a yoga teacher, as somebody that spends a lot of their time in their bodies, like to go through that like really intimate experience of like healing myself. And I really actually like healed myself with my yoga practice. I, you know, couldn't really move for a long time. I had spinal fusion surgery. They put metal in my back to like hold everything together. And, you know, it took some time, but the doctors, they were like, it's going to be 3 or more years of like really long, hard recovery. You're going to like have good days and bad days, and you're going to deal with a lot of pain, and like here's all these prescription drugs. And I was like, I don't think so. I was like, I have some other plans, really. So yeah, so I just really leaned into the powers of meditation first, because like I couldn't move my body yet. And I just visualized like sparkles and light, like going into the broken place. And I just sent myself like healing love, because I had taught myself through yoga to be nicer to myself in my speech, to like visualize and imagine like healing rather than like the worst case scenario. You know what I mean? Our minds are super powerful, and we really have the capacity to heal ourselves. So yoga has definitely transformed my life, and possibly, you know, I would say even saved it.
So that happened 3 years ago?
Yeah, the accident was 3 years ago, and then just before the pandemic in 2020, I had the second surgery to get the metal taken out of my spine. So just like a year and a half ago, and I'm back to like my normal practice. So I did the healing process, got the surgery, got the metal out, and then did the healing process again. And, you know, it was like 9 months, and I was back to like
So when
doing
I
everything.
heard that Riva was in a car accident, I thought it happened like 5 or 10 years ago, because she's like, you would never know. She just leads this active lifestyle, teaching these amazing classes. Her practice is gorgeous. Like, you know, she doesn't look like she's in pain, or her back doesn't have flexibility. Like, I just had no idea that it was so recent.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty amazing.
She's like truly a living miracle.
Yeah, I feel super grateful. I mean, I only have the reference of my own experience, but I do really feel that having a regular yoga practice at the time was what gave me the ability to move forward, because I already had that like practice. I already had like established showing up for myself and healing and like embodiment. You know what I mean? Those things were already ingrained. So, I mean, because the motorcyclist, his bike got a couple scratches, and my partner who was driving, he had like a really serious like seatbelt bruise. It was like an actual purple strap for like months, but he didn't break anything. And out of the three of us that were in the scenario, like I was definitely I was the one that could handle it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are like these big burly dudes, and they wouldn't have been able to bounce back like me. I'm sure of it. So. Yeah, yoga, baby.
Yeah, it's such an inspiring
Everybody
story.
should be doing yoga.
A really inspiring story. But there's another cool part about Riva's story. So those of you who don't know, the Shine Online program is all about women that want to bring their businesses online and create a freedom-based lifestyle. And Riva had a very specific idea of how she wanted to do this. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about how you've set yourself free.
Yeah. I mean, just through this whole like experience. So, you know, the pandemic shut down the restaurant I was working at and the yoga studio that I was working at. And I started shifting my teaching to online. And up to this point, like I had dreamed for years of like just teaching yoga, like no more waiting tables, no more like second job, like just teaching yoga. And I wanted to travel. I wanted to be able to teach wherever I went. I have friends all over the place, and I wanted to just jump in a van and drive and, you know, pop up a yoga class, roll out some mats and make it happen, you know? So had this long time dream. I even have a website that I got like years ago called Pop-Up Yoga Project. So she's waiting.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So pandemic happened, everything shut down, and I found a van, and I just decided that it was time to like just do it. You know what I mean? Like, why not? And I'm so grateful for you and the Shine Online program, because that literally happened at the exact right time. Like right when you were starting it, I was like, oh my God, I have no jobs. And like, maybe I should like pursue this yoga teaching thing just only. And then I was like, how the heck am I going to do that? So super grateful for like all of the encouragement and advice you provided along the way. And especially like all of the other females in the Shine group that have just been like the best cheerleaders. And I mean, seriously, like I don't know where I would be without it. You know, it's like, so yeah.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I got to see Riva's van, and she's been here doing these pop-up yoga classes for us here at Three Rivers Nature Lodge. So I've got to experience all of her gifts. And so I have 2 more questions for you, Riva, before we wrap up. First is, how can people follow you and find you online? And do you have any way for them to stay connected to you? Or
Yeah, so I'm actually super proud of myself. During this time we've been here at the Three Rivers Nature Lodge, I set up my very first email, like consecutive emails, a funnel, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like, so that's going to be cool. Once I have it all organized, I'm going to be able to just like have some regular emails sent out. Even when I'm on the road, even when I don't have service, I can still like stay connected to the people that are following me. So setting up an email list, finishing that today. So I'll drop a link in the comments once that's set up.
yeah, we can link below. We can link all your information below.
Yeah, so these videos that I'm sending in my email, it's called Posture Purrfect, And there are little breakdowns of one pose each week. So you're going to get an email once a week, and it's going to give you a new pose. And I basically just break it down, like show you how to get in and out of it, show you some modifications. I'll show you how to do it like in the restorative way, how to do it in the more active way, and then tell you like the energetic benefits and contraindications and stuff like that. So they're like 12 to 15 minute videos, and you'll get like one a week, new posture each week. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I've definitely been putting some energy into it, so it looks good, and I'm ready for that to go. And then you can find me on Facebook at my business page is Yoga with Riva, and on Instagram I'm unbelievable, and it's unba.riva.bull. And
so funny.
yeah, so follow me and stay connected. You can also find a bunch of free videos on my YouTube channel. You can search Yoga with Riva on there, and we'll link it in the comments as well. So
yeah, Riva's such a great teacher. She's just brings so many important elements into your practice and really explains things so clearly. So whether you've been practicing yoga for 20 years like I have, or you're just starting, you're gonna like receive so many benefits from her class. So definitely check out her email list, check out her YouTube. So many recorded classes, and she records a lot of her classes outside in really beautiful locations, so it's really fun. You're kind of like getting to travel around the country, and
yeah, come on the adventure with me.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
It's really fun. And so the last question I have for you, because we are all like freedom seekers here at Shine Online, is what is your definition of freedom?
Ooh, man, that's a good one. I wish you gave me these questions earlier so I could prepare.
On the spot.
I guess like freedom in a way is like self-sufficiency. It's like being able to support myself with the things that nourish and feed me, and not really doing anything that doesn't like light me up, you know?
Yeah.
So just choosing to turn towards like the things that create like inspiration and passion, and just saying yes and just following, you know, the things that maybe even make me uncomfortable sometimes. So freedom is a little scary, but it's good stuff. Yeah.
It is kind of scary, but it's also look at this amazing life you've created.
Yeah, I mean, I heard a perspective about it. It's like, you know, your subconscious is just trying to protect you all the time. So it really just wants to keep you safe. So anytime you try something new, it'll just start telling you why you can't, how it's going to be wrong, how it's going to be weird, what's going to happen, and it can actually stop you from doing things. So I've just really learned to like tell that voice like, maybe just not now is the time.
Not now. I have another idea.
Yeah, I have a different idea. Exactly. Like you can always have a different idea. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, thank you so much,
yes,
Riva. Your story is so inspiring. If you want to join the club and join us inside of Shine Online, go to kateinparadise.com/shine to find out more about that group. And I will be interviewing more Shine Online members as I travel across the country. And Riva and I and Sandra are actually going to be planning some yoga retreats here at the Three Rivers Lodge. So stay tuned for more information about that coming very soon. And then you can also experience Riva's yoga in person out in nature.
Yeah, come join us. It's going to be awesome.
Yay. All right. We see you
Bye,
shining.
everybody.
Bye.